Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Alexander Rossi Career Series here on BoxBoxBoxGaming with F1 2016. My name is Justin, and today, as you can see, we'll be competing in the Bahrain Grand Prix, where my goals for this race, according to the Haas F1 team, are to finish in 12th place or higher, and also to beat my teammate Romain Grosjean. For those of you that missed the practice and qualifying video, if you wanted to check that out, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But qualifying went quite well. It went so well, in fact, that I have enough resource points to go ahead and pick up that upgraded monkey seat for the aerodynamic upgrade, which costs 750 resource points, and that'll be available to us at the next race at the third round in China. So we're continuing to focus on downforce as it stands right now. The car does feel better after the first downforce upgrade that we got here in Bahrain, and it's definitely helped things, so I'm going to go ahead and continue down that path until I feel like I'm not getting the straight line speed that I need and whatnot. So again, we're just going to continue to focus on aerodynamics for the meantime, and then we'll switch focus later on. So yeah, pretty excited for this race. Again, if you missed qualifying, I did qualify in 5th position. 5th out of 22. Very strange. I really did not see that coming. I was thrilled just to make it into Q3, and I barely made it into Q3 as well. If I remember correctly, I was 9th in Q2, so if just 2 drivers had gone faster than me, then that would have been it. I would have been out of qualifying, and I would have been starting the race from 11th position, but I did end up making it into Q3. I put in a personal best lap in Q3 as well, and that was good enough for 5th place on the grid. Sat behind Lewis Hamilton and ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, which seems unrealistic. I'm going to be totally honest. That's a little bit better of a performance than I thought it was going to be. You know, at that stage, I was thinking, my God, I'm already getting 5th now in qualifying. So I was thinking about upping the difficulty to Legend for this race, but decided against it. You know, let's pretend this is a one-off. It may, in fact, be a one-off. Man, that guy's hair is sharp. Look at that on the right. You could cut glass with that guy's hair. Yeah. So yeah, I was a bit worried that maybe, you know, after the practice of Australia with my computer running better and everything like that, maybe expert level is no longer the correct difficulty for me. But I wanted to make sure that that information is correct. So I've left it on expert, and we're going to see how this race goes, and then we'll decide. So again, if you missed qualifying, here's a reminder of how people are going to be lining up. Rosberg, Raikkonen, Vettel, Hamilton down in 4th and starting on the soft tires. Then we have ourselves, Rossi, and then Ricciardo, Bottas, and Sainz, Verstappen, and Kvyat rounding out the top 10. Felipe Massa, Fernando Alonso on the 6th row, followed by Sergio Perez and Romain Grosjean way down in 14th, our teammate. Nico Hulkenberg and Felipe Nasser in 15th and 16th. Jensen Button, Marcus Ericsson, Pascal Wehrlein, Kevin Magnussen, Rio Harriento, and bringing up the rear is Jolyon Palmer after picking up a 5-place grid penalty in FP1 for making collision with Kimi Räikkönen. So here we are on the grid preparing to choose our strategy. And I've been getting some comments from people asking me to do 50% instead of 25%, but again, I'll probably have to keep reiterating this, and that's fine, I don't mind. But again, I really just want this to be a nice, casual first season with the career mode. I just really want to make sure that I can get to the end of this career series, which means expert mode and 25% are the way to go in the meantime. But again, I have an eye to, you know, changing it to legend difficulty and 50% distance for the future, if we make it that far. I have to say, though, at the moment, I am really enjoying F1 2016's career mode quite a bit, far more than I enjoyed the pro season at this stage, if I'm being totally honest. It's a lot less work, it's a lot more entertaining, it's a lot more fun. I really, really enjoy it in comparison to pro season. Really, the last time that I had this much fun with an F1 game was when I did the career mode with F1 2013, which only lasted 1 season. However, I believe that was really because F1 2013 didn't have any sort of progression. After you finish the first season, I mean, all you could do is just change to another team. You know, there's no car upgrades. You can't improve the performance of your car to make a team faster or anything like that. So there really wasn't a whole lot going on in F1 2013. The last time that you could really do something with the career mode was F1 2012, if you ask for my opinion. But we're on the warm-up lap now. All the temperatures are looking good at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I did notice, though, with the warm-up lap, it's not so much about warming up the brakes and tires and engine and everything. It's more about just keeping them at temperature. and also not destroying your tires. So certainly you don't want to be locking up into any corners or anything like that. I don't know for sure if that actually has an effect on your tire life before reaching the grid, but you know, better safe than sorry. So I'm doing some weaving here, but again, mainly just to keep temperature in the tires rather than generate temperature, because they're looking pretty solid, a little under 100 degrees Celsius for the tires. The brakes will, you know, fluctuate wildly. I'm sure they'll go up to 1,000 degrees under the right conditions. Yeah, 700 degrees Celsius with just a little bit of braking there. So pretty nervous, I'm not going to lie, at this stage. You know, I'm in a Haas, and ahead of me is a Mercedes, and behind me is a Red Bull. Now, Hamilton is on the soft compound tires, as I mentioned earlier. His fastest lap in Q2 was done on the yellow marked soft compound tires rather than the super softs. So Hamilton is starting this race on a harder compound tire compared to myself and indeed the other drivers around us as well. The top three are all on super softs, both Ferraris and Nico Rosberg, and then also Daniel Ricciardo behind me is on the super softs as well, and I think a number of the other drivers behind us too. It's going to be a bit of a wait on the grid here because we qualified in 5th. That yellow dot in the back that's just getting to his grid position, that's Romain Grosjean in 14th. So there we go. There's Jolyon Palmer making his way into his grid slot now. Oh, man. We're going to prepare to go racing at the first Tilke circuit of the season here in Bahrain in the desert. Lights are coming on now. Engines revving in our Haas. 4 lights, 5 lights. And the clutch is out, and we're away. It looks like a great start for us compared to Vettel, who is also on the soft compound tires. I apologize. I thought he was on the super softs. Hamilton on the softs is doing well, though. He's up into 3rd. We've got a car on our right-hand side. I do believe that is Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. He's gone up the inside. So has Carlos Sainz as well. So we're battling for 5th position now with Carlos Sainz. Sebastian Vettel has lost a number of positions. Ricciardo and Hamilton gaining positions. And it does look like we are going to out-drag Carlos Sainz, getting very, very close to the back of that Mercedes as we're under braking for turn number 4. And it's getting very, very close between all of us here, but I really want to try and get ahead of Hamilton if I can, but unfortunately now I've got Ricciardo in front of me. Here we go into the hairpin now, the turn 8 hairpin, and I've gone up the inside on Ricciardo. Can I get the traction at the exit of the corner? We're still side by side, and it looks like I have done so. I've got the traction, and I'm back up into 4th position. And Lewis Hamilton is the next car ahead. And again, he is on those soft compound tires, so hopefully I can do something about that and possibly put a little bit of a buffer between myself and Daniel Ricciardo, because if I could get Hamilton behind me, that would be fantastic. Now, I don't expect him to stay behind me. I do not expect to finish this race in 4th position, but it's been a great start. Had a very, very good launch off of the line. Kept it clean through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. Nearly ran into the back of Lewis Hamilton at turn 4, but we were able to keep our nose clean and avoid any sort of damage or anything like that. Up into Rich Mix now as we're heading down towards the penultimate corner of this Bahrain International Circuit. Onto the brakes and down into 3rd gear. Finding the apex, missing it ever so slightly, I would say by maybe half a meter or so, and then getting on the power nice and early in order to use some of the slipstream from Lewis Hamilton as we start lap number 2. No DRS has been activated yet, of course, so I just have the slipstream and the rich mix, which I'm actually down into standard now at this point, just dipping out of that dirty air under braking a little bit just to avoid any sort of locking or anything like that. A little bit of wheel spin at the exit of turn 3. And that's going to kill a little bit of our momentum. Daniel Ricciardo in that Red Bull is pretty close behind us. Look at him closing up under braking for turn number 4 now. And we are keeping up, though, with Lewis Hamilton, shockingly, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, it's only a 6.5 tenth gap between myself and the Brit. And unfortunately, I did have a bit of an oversteer moment there, though. Oh, and really missing my apex for that turn 8 hairpin, and that's going to lose me quite a bit of time to Lewis Hamilton. Nicely on the power coming out of it, though, and then the very tricky turns 9 and 10, of course, always very difficult, especially in cockpit view, if I'm being totally honest. It's just that much harder in cockpit view. There's several corners on this circuit. Certainly there are faster ways to get around them than the ways I'm taking them. For instance, probably want to avoid the inside curb there at turn 11. That's probably not the fastest way. Really feeding the car to the far left-hand side of the circuit as I'm coming out of turn 11 before turn 12, just to open up turn 12 as much as possible and carry as much speed through there. It is a short run, though, between 12 and 13, so I don't think it has a huge effect, but that's just the line that I've always taken in these Codemasters F1 games. Braking now for the penultimate corner. Once again, Daniel Ricciardo very, very close behind us, but it does look like we've had a little bit better of an exit. He will be getting the benefit of a slipstream here, though, and I don't think I'm going to get much of a slipstream from Lewis Hamilton. You can see the gap between us is pretty significant. Daniel Ricciardo, can he make a move at the inside of turn 1? No, he can't. He's going to have to sit back and wait in the meantime. Just behind him is Sebastian Vettel, who has got back in front of Carlos Sainz. So Vettel now back up into 6th position after losing a number of positions from 3rd on the grid. So it started off pretty poorly for Sebastian Vettel, but things are starting to look up for the German. And we are definitely losing time. Yeah, we've lost half a second to Lewis Hamilton over the course of the last lap. 1.2 seconds nearly is the gap between us, which means I would not be picking up any sort of DRS here. This is going to be the first time DRS is activated, is for this DRS zone on the back straight in between turns 10 and 11. Trying to get the car slowed down as much as I can, even using first gear for that corner. And are we going to get use of DRS? No, we are not. But I'll tell you who is, and that is Daniel Ricciardo. He is in my mirrors, growing, getting bigger. We're running out of straight, though, and he's not able to get alongside. Again, taking too much of that inside curve, a bit of wheel spin as well in 4th gear. Really need to short shift through that corner in order to get the power down, especially in this Haas, which has such low downforce, despite the upgrade that I've got. Totally missing the apex of turn 13. That's going to put Daniel Ricciardo all over the back of me. Look at him. He is just tucked into that slipstream. And I'm not going to bother to defend the position. He's going to move to the inside line for turn number 14. He moves in very early, very slowly, though, and we're actually able to shoot around the outside. However, I do believe he is the one that picked up DRS as a result of all of that changing of positions. Yes, he did. He did get DRS. He is being harassed, though, by Sebastian Vettel, who moved to the right-hand side, but then actually did not end up making any sort of move or anything like that. But that's good. I would really like Sebastian Vettel to get involved in this and start harassing Daniel Ricciardo, just so that I can focus on driving as quickly as I possibly can without destroying my tires too much. That would be fantastic if we could do that. So here we are on lap number 4 now out of 14. And Daniel Ricciardo still right behind me. For those of you that are familiar with my pro season, who might remember China, I was harassed by Daniel Ricciardo for like half of the race. I mean, he was just right up my chuff for the entire time, just would not leave me alone. And it looks like this might be another one of those types of scenarios. Currently running in 4th position, so I'm just outside of a podium-paying position. Due to pit on lap number 5, so I'm going to be doing a 5-lap stint on these worn super soft tires, followed by a 9-lap stint on the fresh soft tire compound at the end of the race to round things out. So I'm going to be coming into the pits at the end of next lap. Again, we're coming to the end of lap 4, so it's almost time to pit already. And again, you can see that wider line that I use through turn 13, and it looks like I have actually pulled out a bit of a gap through sector 2. I have to imagine I'm using Rich Mix at this point to try and keep Daniel Ricciardo behind, because, I mean, he is really getting the benefit of that slipstream right now. Andy is definitely going to be picking up DRS, and I will not, as Lewis Hamilton really starting to streak away now. These super soft tires are wearing down a lot quicker, and Daniel Ricciardo into the pits for a very early pit stop, just at the end of lap 4, so he's got 10 laps to do on a set of the soft tires. He may even be doing a 2-stop strategy, possibly, with a pit stop that early, because, again, that is very, very early to come into the pits. So lap number 5, again, this is our in-lap now, so I can really punish these tires if I have to. Don't have to worry too much about keeping these in good nick. And, oh, my God, Sebastian Vettel looming large in the rear-view mirrors there, just all over the back of me heading into turn number 4. Thankfully, no major overtaking locations through turns 5, 6, 7. And I just need to stay a little bit ahead because it's a very short run down from 7 down into 8, and I have done that, missing my apex ever so slightly, going a little bit wide as well, but a good exit. Oh, I was going to say it was a good exit until that wobble there, and that has really hurt us. And then now into the braking zone for turn number 10, turning and braking all at the same time. We need a really good exit here, and we have done so. We've had a pretty good exit, similar to Sebastian Vettel's. However, he does have that DRS flap open now, and look at that. He's just closing right up on the back of us. Thankfully, once again, running out of straight, so he didn't go alongside. Again, short shifting my way through the gears and up this hill, taking the very wide line as I do. And here we go, Sebastian Vettel, very, 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 very close behind us. And behind him as well, there is a Williams. I believe that's Bottas, followed by Max Verstappen as well, waiting in the wings. Vettel using that slipstream now. Is he going to move to the inside line to try and overtake us? Yes, he does. We're going to be side by side into this penultimate corner. And he's gone a little bit deep. I've done the cutback. And I'm going to head into the pits as well, so I'm going to try and undercut him. But no, he's coming into the pits as well, which has caught me off guard, and I've actually slammed into the back of him and lost a bit of my front wing end plate on the left-hand side. So that means I'm going to have to change my front wing in this pit stop in addition to the tires. That's going to lose me a significant amount of time, so almost certainly I'm going to lose positions to Vettel, Bottas, there he goes, there goes Bottas, and also Verstappen. No, that's a Toro Rosso, so I thought it was Verstappen, but I guess that was Kvyat or Sainz. Yeah, that is Kvyat or Sainz. I assume Max Verstappen continued on for another lap, but here we are coming out of the pits on lap number 6 of 14 now, and we are behind that Toro Rosso, and I do believe that is Daniil Kvyat, if I'm not mistaken, by the helmet. So, yeah, we're now behind Daniil Kvyat. And we've got some work to do. We've got the fresh rubber, but so does Daniil as well. So it's not going to be super easy, and it is Daniil Kvyat. And unfortunately, we're in dead last. We're in last position. Up at the top left. We're in 22nd place. Like, yeah, I know it wasn't a very good pit stop, but oh my God, that really has not turned out well for us. So again, a 9-lap stint on the set of soft compound tires. They can do a dozen laps or so, maybe even a little more than that if you're really taking care of them. But now I've got work to do. I've got to make some overtakes here. So we will pick up the DRS here off Daniil Kvyat. However, I think we're a little bit too far back. We're in the slipstream. DRS is open, as you can tell from looking in the rearview mirror. And nicely through there. Not too bad. Staying out of the dirty air as well, taking a tighter line through there. Wider line into turn number 12. And I imagine we're going to be going into Rich Mix. We're going to be going into Rich Mix, I imagine, here in order to get by Kvyat. Still in standard, getting that slipstream, though. And there we go. Now we're into Rich Mix, into the final couple of corners now, breaking down into third gear, finding the apex. There it is. Very nice. Onto the power. Oh, a bit of a squirm, a bit of oversteer as I try to get on the throttle coming out of that final corner. DRS is open. We're in the slipstream now. We're going to be picking up lots and lots of speed. We're already halfway down the straight, though. There's the pit exit. Here's the braking zone for turn 1. We're on the inside of Daniil Kvyat, and we're going to leave him space at the outside, but it looks like with that inside line, able to easily move up ahead of Daniil Kvyat. We also overtook some cars that were in the pits, so we're now up into P17, which is actually where I finished the last race. And we don't have any penalties. I don't have a drive-through penalty. I didn't speed into the pits. All that I did was run into the back of Sebastian Vettel. So I'm imagining we'll probably be getting a lot of hate mail from the Tifosi. So again, P17, we've got Bottas ahead. I'm trying to remember. Yes, Bottas did start on the super soft tires, and I believe he pitted at the same time as us. So he is legitimately ahead of us. He does have a car ahead of him, though. That looks like might be possibly holding him up. He's going to be getting the DRS now on this back straight on the run down towards turn 11. It doesn't look like he's made any sort of move, though. No, he hasn't. So he's still stuck behind whatever car is currently ahead of him. It looked blue to my eye, so that could be Carlos Sainz. Oh, running a bit wide at the exit of turn 11 there. Thankfully, no major issues there, but that's certainly not going to allow us to catch up to Bottas. Let's keep an eye on that gap. It's currently 3 seconds to the Finn up ahead in that Williams. Currently, Massa is leading this race. That's very interesting. I believe, yes, he started on the soft compound tires because he didn't even make it into Q3. But yeah, he was 11th fastest in Q2 on a set of the soft compound tires. So we do have a bit of a gap to Kvyat behind. We've got some more cars in the pits as well. That's going to move us up into 15th position now. So we're now just 3 positions away from our target of 12th, which you can see up at the top left next to my name. Missing the apex of turn 1 ever so slightly, and then nicely on the throttle, short shifting my way up into 4th, and then grabbing 5th as we make our way down this straight to turn number 4. Bottas still the car ahead. Again, it was 3 seconds the gap previously. Let's see what's the gap going to be now. Certainly this Williams I would expect to be faster. It's 2.5, so we've actually gained half a second on Valtteri Bottas, possibly as a result of whatever that car is. No, that's a Red Bull. Actually, that's ahead of Valtteri Bottas. I don't know if that's Ricciardo or Verstappen. I'm not sure which Red Bull that is, but it certainly looked like a Red Bull to me. Yeah, I see the yellow on it, which the Toro Rosso does not have. The Red Bull does have that little bit of yellow above the driver's seat. So Bottas currently being held up by one of the Red Bulls. Not really sure which one. But that is playing into our hands as we're approaching the end of Sector 2 now. Again, that gap was 2.5 seconds as we finish Sector 1. So let's keep our eye on that and see if that's going to change as we come into Sector 3 now, and it is still 2.5 seconds. So unfortunately, we haven't gained any sort of time in Sector 2 using standard mix. And actually, Daniil Kvyat is all over the back of us. So I thought I had the measure of him. I thought I had pulled out a gap, but it looks like he has actually closed that back down, and his teammate, not far behind, Carlos Sainz, actually won't be getting the benefit of DRS, thankfully, but he is just waiting in the wings for any sort of mistake to happen or anything like that. As we come down the start-finish straight, look at Kvyat getting the slipstream, moving out of the slipstream. Oh, and there's a Williams coming out. I believe that is Felipe Massa. Yes, that is Felipe Massa coming out on the super soft tires after starting the race on the softs, but we have managed to defend from Daniil Kvyat. We can see Bottas and one of the Red Bulls going side by side. I believe that is Verstappen into turn number 4, and Massa is right ahead of us. We actually picked up a slipstream on that straight down towards turn 4. Ooh, a big moment though at the exit of turn 4. That's certainly not going to help us catch up to Massa, and he's on fresher tires and softer tires as well. So I would be very surprised if we can actually manage to get by Felipe Massa at this stage, because he's going to be very quick on those brand new super soft tires. Into the braking zone now for turn 10. Nicely through there, missing the apex by maybe half a meter or so. Picking up the slipstream and the DRS there, actually. We did pick up the DRS off of Felipe Massa. He did not get DRS, and that is in fact his teammate up ahead, Valtteri Bottas, again doing battle with what I believe is Max Verstappen. Making our way out of Sector 2 and into Sector 3 now. Again, there's that very, very wide line that I like to take through turn 12. And let's see if we can keep up with Massa. It would be fantastic if I could pick up the DRS off of Massa on the start-finish straight, because even if I can't overtake him, it would be great to help me pull away from Daniil Kvyat, and then I wouldn't have to worry about Daniil in my mirrors anymore, and I could focus on just driving the race that I need to drive. Nicely through those final couple of corners there, actually. That's among the better lines that I've taken through there. Again, I am getting more and more practice as the series progresses, so hopefully I'll be becoming more and more comfortable with the traditional Formula 1 lines. You can see there, certainly I could have been farther to the left. Oh, clunking over that curb at turn 1. That is definitely not the fastest way through there. And Daniil Kvyat still lurking in the background there, and Carlos Sainz not far behind him either. And it looks like, once again, Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen going side by side through turn 4. What's going to happen here? It looks like Max Verstappen's got the measure of him. Yes. Are they still side by side through turns 5, 6, and 7 as well? But no, it looks like Verstappen has come out ahead, and they're going to head into that turn 8 hairpin single file. And yes, that is Max Verstappen that Bottas is doing battle with. Now Massa, of course, is being held up because he's on those super soft tires. We're on lap 10 already, by the way. Not much left to this race. We're already well past the halfway point. After we complete this lap, there will just be 4 laps remaining in this Bahrain Grand Prix. Look at the traction that Massa got, though, on this back straight, just flying with that DRS and the benefit of those super soft tires. Fantastic stuff from him. He really needs to get by Bottas and Verstappen as quickly as he can, and I'm really hoping at this point that Massa might slow down Bottas and Verstappen as he's making his way by, which could hopefully slow those two guys down and allow me to close in that gap. You can see 0.86 of a second between myself and Massa. It does look like he's pulled out that gap, though. I don't think I'm going to pick up the DRS for this start-finish straight, which is very unfortunate because both of the Williams cars are going to be picking up the DRS. Let's see, is Massa going to go side-by-side? Yes, he is. He pulls to the right-hand side of the circuit, side-by-side with his teammate into turn number 1. He's got the super soft tires, though, so I imagine he will be able to outbrake him with that inside line and grab 7th position, and he has done that. Ooh, still kind of side-by-side there, but eventually Bottas concedes the position to his teammate, and Felipe Massa can now take off down the road and turn his focus towards Max Verstappen. As a result of other cars coming into the pits, though, we are now up into 9th position, so we're into a points-paying position. With Bottas just ahead of us on the same compound tire, albeit with a faster car. The Williams is definitely faster than the Haas, so it's really up to me. I have to outperform the car if I want to have any sort of hope of overtaking Bottas here. He is going to be picking up DRS off of his teammate, though, so it's crucial that I pick up the DRS here. Very aggressive into turn 10. And clipping the apex very nicely, actually. That was a very nice job through there, and the DRS is open. So I did get the DRS up into rich mix as well. Not much of a slipstream effect, though. I'm afraid of really not much I could do there. Using fourth gear this time for turn number 11 and get it nice and easy on the throttle. Really trying not to spin up those rear wheels with all the torque that these 2016 cars have. Down into third gear for turn 13. A little bit too much of the inside curb and not quite enough of the outside curb. 9/10 of a second between myself and Bottas, but again, he's just pulling off with that Mercedes power down this back straight, and I don't think I'm going to be picking up the DRS off of Valtteri Bottas on this occasion, unfortunately. Another halfway decent line through the final couple of corners. I'd say better than average for me. But certainly still some extra time to be found. I think I could have carried a few extra kph into that corner and just let the car run out wide onto the curbing. So I believe this is lap 11 or 12 now that we've just started. Really not much to go. And the gap actually to the car behind has increased significantly. So I've got a bit of a buffer. You can see as the two Toro Rossos just now coming onto this straight, and they're actually battling side by side and with the two Force Indias right behind them. So I am in a points-paying position. Currently, I would pick up 2 points if I were to finish in 9th, which would be fantastic. That's infinitely more points than I currently have in the championship table. So 2 points would truly be wonderful. I would love to pick up a couple more points, or a couple of points, because I have yet to score. So that would be really nice here. It does seem that I am hanging on to the back of Valtteri Bottas. Again, I am pushing very hard, because I would love to try and have a go at him if I can. Am I going to pick up the DRS here? Yes, I do. DRS is wide open, but so is Bottas's DRS as well. He's still picking up the DRS off of Max Verstappen, who has, in fact, lost a position to Felipe Massa, who's now up into 6th, actually, after starting from 11th. So Felipe is on a real flyer here today with an alternate strategy that seems to be paying dividends significantly. So again, onto the long straight between turns 13 and 14. Getting a bit more of a slipstream here from Bottas than I think I would have done on previous laps, but is it going to be close enough to pick up the DRS on the start-finish straight, which is the longest straight on the circuit? So this is the most important part to pick up DRS, not on that back straight. Let's keep an eye on the wing as we cross the DRS activation line. Yes, we did get DRS there, but look, by the time the wing is open, Bottas is already a few tenths down the road further than he was as we were coming out of that corner. So again, I really just think the Haas with his straight line speed is just really struggling up against the Williams, which is of course known to be a car that is very slippery through the air. And in the background there, going through turn 1 and 2, it looks like a Force India going side by side with the Toro Rosso. Some more battling happening in the back there, just behind me for 10th position. However, that it is slowing them down, but if those Force Indias are really quick, then of course now I need to worry, because those are now the car behind instead of the Toro Rossos, which it seemed I was pretty even with, possibly even faster than. Again, really still barely just clinging onto the back of Valtteri Bottas. Oh, a big lockup though into turn 10 though, and that's going to cause me to miss my apex. I did pick up the DRS there, but once again, Bottas has gotten the DRS as well. So, I mean, really all for nothing. I'm pushing very hard, very late braking there. That was around 60 meters later than I should be braking as we're on the penultimate lap of this race. These tires are already pretty old, and unfortunately, I think that is me out of that battle. So now I just need to focus on finishing this race. Just one more lap to go. One more lap between myself and getting some championship points as Alexander Rossi in the Haas. So I need to keep my eye on Hulkenberg, who is, in fact, very quick and on a different strategy as well. It looks like he's gone for the same sort of strategy as Felipe Massa. He's on the super soft tires here as we start the final lap of this race. Let's take a look as we cross the start-finish line. The gap up ahead is 2 seconds. The gap behind is nearly 7 seconds. So as long as I don't put in a 1:44, #blessed, then I should be safe in this 9th place position. So I'm just going to take it easy now. There is no chance that I'm going to catch Bottas on the final lap of the race with a 2-second gap between the two of us. That's just not going to happen if we're being totally honest. So that is no longer my focus. I gave it everything I had. I pushed like hell. In fact, I probably pushed too hard because now my tires are pretty worn. I was told by Jeff that we have a significant amount of spare fuel in the car, though. So you'll notice that I'm actually running in rich mix for pretty much this entire final lap. And again, though, that is mainly to defend from Hülkenberg behind rather than to attack Bottas ahead. So I missed the split at Sector 1, but we will get another split, of course, at Sector 2. Again, it was just under 7 seconds, with 6.8 seconds was the gap between myself and Hülkenberg. And there's actually quite a train of cars behind him, and Romain Grosjean is one of those cars that's in that train. Again, very late braking down to third gear, though, and getting it turned in, though. No major drama as we're coming to the end of Sector 2, and we're going to start Sector 3 for this final lap. Look at that, 5.6 seconds. So Nico Hülkenberg gaining 1.2 seconds just over the course of a couple of sectors. So he is definitely flying right now. But it does look like we are going to come home in 9th position and pick up a few well-deserved points, a couple of well-deserved points. Ooh, back end stepping out through the final corner there, but no, we keep it pointing in the right direction, and we're going to cross the line and pick up our first championship points as Alexander Rossi here in Bahrain. Fantastic race. Really, really happy with that result, and also really, really happy that I didn't up the difficulty to Legend. Because despite qualifying in 5th position, I was not the 5th fastest car out there. And even with that wing change, I don't think that made the difference. I don't think if I had managed to not hit Sebastian Vettel, if I didn't need the wing change, I don't think it would have had a huge impact on my race, to be totally honest. Maybe I would have been ahead of Bottas. You know, maybe I would have stayed ahead of Verstappen. That would have been 4 extra points. I think I would have picked up 6 points if I had finished in 7th, as we see Max Verstappen did. So that would have been some extra points for sure. That would have been nice. But again, I'm going to focus on the positives today rather than the negatives. Yes, I ran into the back of Sebastian Vettel. Yes, I broke my front wing end plate on the back of a Ferrari. But yeah, now I think that's the 2nd win in a row for Nico Rosberg, if I'm not mistaken. Lewis Hamilton, though, joining him on the podium in 3rd position. Kimi Räikkönen having a fantastic season so far, grabbing another podium. I believe the podium last time in Australia was Rosberg, Räikkönen, Ricciardo in that order. So there's your final standings. Rosberg, Räikkönen, Hamilton grabbing the podium. Sebastian Vettel, who started from 3rd, just really did not have a great race. Finished in 4th, 18 seconds behind Nico Rosberg, and actually 14 seconds behind his teammate. Daniel Ricciardo grabbing 5th position. Felipe Massa in 6th after starting in 11th. So fantastic race for Felipe Massa, which Anthony Davidson actually just called him his driver of the day for gaining all of those positions. Now, I lost 4 positions, but still, 9th place in a Haas, I will take it. I will absolutely take it. That is fantastic stuff. Just 27 seconds behind the leader. I think I was something like 50 seconds behind the leader at the end of the Australian Grand Prix. In the end, Romain Grosjean finishing in 14th position, which is where he started the race. So not a great day for Romain Grosjean. But the Haas F1 team picked up a couple of points thanks to my 9th place, so I'm sure they'll be happy about that. And that'll do wonders for my battle with Grosjean. I was losing to him after Australia. I gained the lead on him once again after the qualifying in Bahrain, and that lead is just going to extend as a result of this race here and grabbing those points. So very, very thrilled, very happy about that. A lot of fun, that race, actually. Again, you know, there's not much strategy in the 25% distance races, but I don't mind. Good racing, good battling from the AI. You know, I've heard complaints about the AI from people, but honestly, I think it's pretty good. We have moved up now into 11th position in the championship, just behind Sergio Perez. We're actually tied with Sergio at 2 points apiece. And yes, Nico Rosberg did in fact win that last race. So he's on 50 points. Kimi Räikkönen 2 podiums with 33 points. Daniel Ricciardo grabbing a podium and then a 5th place finish here today. So that's going to see him 3rd in the championship as we take a quick look at the constructors. Haas moving way up the order, up into 6th, dead center in the constructors championship with 2 points, 1 point more than Toro Rosso. So big movement, obviously, from myself and also for the team as far as the championships are concerned. So very happy about that. Very, very happy indeed. I don't think it could have gone too much better. Really, if I had just avoided slamming into the back of Sebastian Vettel heading into the pits, that's the only way it could have gone better. And again, I don't think I lost out on too much as a result of that. But, you know, it's another case of learning from your mistakes, focusing on the positives, and yeah, hopefully next one will go even better. I don't see how I can do better in China as far as qualifying is concerned, but hopefully in the race we'll do a little bit better. We're going to pick up 120 resource points. However, we need quite a few resource points to get our next aerodynamic upgrade. So we'll see what the aerodynamic upgrade does for us in China, and then we'll make a decision. So yeah, now we're dominating the rivalry against our teammate, 22-12. Just absolutely destroyed. Get wrecked, Romain Grosjean. And then the driver position, still second driver, however, now up to 9. So I think one more good result, one more good qualifying or good race, and we'll actually be the #1 driver at Haas, which would be fantastic. Now we're going to see how many points I got. I got 34.94 in Australia, but it looks like I'm going to do a lot better than that, nearly 10,000 points. For this race weekend, which is like nothing if you look at the leaderboards, but you know, that's 3 times what I got at the previous race, so I will take it. Thank you very much. And then we're gonna have a voicemail here. You can see David Croft and Anthony Davidson on the right hand side there. Having a look over to the left, don't really see anybody I recognize over there. Wonder what these chaps are talking about. Anyway, that is going to do it for round 2 of this Alexander Rossi career series with F1 2016 on BoxBoxBoxGaming. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly had a lot of fun recording it and doing the commentary for it and all that kind of stuff. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. I am working today. I work on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So after I'm recording this commentary on Monday morning. So after work today, though, I'm going to be heading straight into F1 2016, and I'm going to be recording the practice qualifying and race for China. And hopefully all of that will be up tomorrow, Tuesday, August 23rd. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.